Good morning, family. Welcome to our ILCA Super Saturday overview. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I will be your humble hostess for today. Now, there is something I always like to say, and that is we totally understand. There are so many things you can be doing with your time. My goodness, it's a beautiful Saturday morning. But the fact that you guys decided to come on out and hear what we have to say, it always makes us so very happy. So thank you so very much for being here. And what you are about to find out is that ILCA is on a whole new level. You guys are going to learn about different events that we have going on. We got new courses. We have certifications that are coming. A lot of you guys have been asking me about that. It is here. While I'm talking about it, I want to give a super big shout out to Miss Joyce Easley. She has worked very, very hard helping us put these questions together. So you guys, within, I would say, the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, you will be able to get certified by ILCA. So I'm super excited about that. But our presenter, our educator, is going to tell you about so much more that we have going on. You guys, as you can see, I am not only excited, but I am so proud of the progress we have made, not only as a company, but as a community. I am watching you guys every single day, and it is so good to see your progress, to see your growth. I am so super excited to not only see you guys in Las Vegas, but to see you guys in Chicago. We have a whole team planning Chicago, so you guys get ready. And speaking of our wonderful team, I see you coming on in. Hello, my loves. How are you this morning? Thank you guys so very much for being here. As you come on in, you know the routine. Type your name and where you are from in that chat box. That way I get a chance to tell the world who is here with us today. And if you have the opportunity, turn on your camera. One of the best parts about us being on a Zoom call like this is that we get a chance to see all your faces and those wonderful smiles. So of course, I'm going to start off with my beautiful friend, Missy Vetta. Hi, baby. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. It is always good to see you, sunshine. I see we have Miss DJ Coulter's in the house. Hi, DJ. How are you? She's coming on in representing cold Colorado. Yeah, it's freezing out here today. Thank you so much for being here, DJ. I see you, Elton. Hello, sir. How are you? It's so good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. I see we also have Papa Leonard is in the house. He is representing La Quinta. Leonard, I got your message. Thank you. I took a look at that. I'm on it. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I see we have the beautiful Miss Carla Arrigo. Hi, Carla. How are you, baby? She is here representing St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you so much for being here. The Empress herself, her name is Catherine Clement. She says, it's a success Saturday, babies. Mwah. Hello, Queen. How are you? And you are absolutely right. It is definitely a success Saturday. I see we have my beautiful friend Maggie is here. Hi, Maggie. How are you? Thank you so very much for being with us today. I can already smell those flowers. I see we also have the beautiful Miss Anna Clark. Hi, Anna. How are you? I got your message. As soon as this is done, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that, okay? We'll get there. All right, everyone. We're at the top of the hour. Let's go ahead and get our party started. Again, thank each and every one of you for being here for our Super Saturday ILCA overview and special public crypto talk. My name is your Queen Connectress, Miss Marnita Casa, and I am your humble hostess for today. Now, it is my honor. Thank you. It is my honor to introduce you all to a man that for over 25 years dominated the direct sales industry. His cryptocurrency education is used by companies and universities worldwide. Now, for over 8 years, he dedicated his life to learning about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency, but he didn't just stop there. He decided to go out and share his information with the masses, and this was done by putting on fun and exciting Bitcoin boot camps nationwide at no cost. He has built thriving communities and wonderful platforms like you see before you now. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce you all to Mr. Brandon Ivey.
All right. Thank you for that introduction, Miss Casa, and for all the hard work that you and Joyce is doing behind the scenes for ILCA and getting us prepared for our next chapter. It was just the ILCA is 3 years old. However, we kind of rebrand, but relaunched ourselves last year when we made a new move in a new direction around this time a year ago. And it's taken us that long to get to where we are right now. We're about to head back out on the road, which is my favorite. I used to do that all the time before COVID hit and haven't been able to really do it since COVID. But we're about to head back out on the road. We're going to tell you about that as well. This is an exciting time to be a part of it. We have a lot of new features, as Ms. Casa said, with our certification that's coming online as well. The only thing that has been delayed on me is creating the basket of suite of different tokens that ILCA will recommend for those of you that want a dollar cost average. There's just some technical challenges that we're still working through, but I'll have that as soon as possible. But let's go back to the beginning, and I promise you we're going to keep this short and sweet. This is Resurrection Weekend, it's Easter weekend. It is also for me, I'm a huge wrestling fan. This is WrestleMania weekend for me as well. So I let my wife know it started on Friday to Monday Night Raw. This is all WrestleMania for me, and I'm having my cheat weekend with Wingstop all weekend, so I'm able to do that now too. And I say cheat weekend because if you guys know, we're also a part of a health and wellness movement called MoveQuest, where I have lost more than 20 pounds being a part of this project, and I have cut a lot of my diet. I used to go to Wingstop every Friday, and I cut that back down to maybe twice a month now. But this weekend, it's all about Wingstop for me. So promise you we're going to keep this short and sweet. I want to tell you a little story on and then give you an invitation to be a part of our community. And then I'm also going to show you a sneak peek on if you do decide to join our community, what we do on a daily basis in our inner circle, how we read the charts, how we see what's going on in the crypto world, how we are able to make moves in whatever type of investment moves we want to make when it comes to building our crypto portfolio, and how geopolitics plays a hand in that. The inner circle is priceless. I'm briefly going to mention about our two events. I'm going to wait until Miss Casa has all the details, like she said earlier, lined up for you guys with the websites to register. But we will talk about that. But let's go back. I've been in the direct sales industry now for 25 years. Go be 26 at the end of this year. It was December 1998. I was a senior at Morehouse College when I first heard about the opportunity of direct sales marketing. And I didn't have any understanding of it. I was taught that if I wanted to have financial freedom, I got to go to school, get good grades, and get a good, safe, secure job. And I was smart enough to know just by observation and personal experience that that was a lie, that was just something that our parents said because it was told to them. And I'm talking about the baby boomers. It was told to them, and that's all they knew. And I saw that it was barely working for them, and it definitely wasn't going to work for my generation, Generation X. So I was open, and that was the first key thing. I was open to hearing about something that I wasn't never taught about when it comes to finances and money. And I joined direct sales, and I wish I could say it was a Cinderella story, but it wasn't. I failed my first 10 years. I failed, but I saw other people having tremendous success. And I knew if they could have success, then so can I. I just have to learn whatever it is that they figured out that I don't know yet. So one thing about me is I'm not a quitter because I didn't like the alternative if I quit, going back to a 9 to 5 type of job. So I just stuck it out and until I figured it out. And once I figured it out, oh, the sky was the limit. I was able to walk off my job and retire at the age of 36 years old back in 2012. And I did it on my birthday, July 13th, 2012, and it was a Friday. And they thought I was joking until I went into the office with flip-flops and the shorts on. They thought I was joking. I went in straight from the gym that morning, and they looked at me like I lost my mind. And I'm like, and I remember the my boss's boss's boss pulled me in the office and was like, are you sure this is something you want to do? And I said, I make 3 times the money you make from home. Yeah, I'm sure I want to do that. I purchased my Freedom Day. But fast forward, I was fell in love with the idea of financial freedom, of my time being my own time. And I moved from leveraging my own hours, meaning if you're working a 9 to 5 job, then you are trading your hours for money. But there's only 24 hours in a day. So there's only so much money you can make. Then I got into direct sales where you can now leverage other people by building a team and a sales force and an organization. And so I used to always say this, would you rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts or 100% of your own? Think about that for a second. If you're earning 100% of your own efforts and you get sick or incapacitated in any type of way, what happens to your income? It goes from 100% to zero. But if you're earning 1% of 100 people's efforts, and let's say 20%, 20 people become incapacitated or unable to perform, you still have 80% income coming in. That was my focus. And I evolved from that because I read a book called Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. If you haven't read that book, in fact, I'm rereading it right now. And it talks about the 4 different quadrants that most people are in when it comes to finances, from the employee and all the way to the investor quadrant. And I wanted to move to the investor quadrant, where instead of leveraging myself, instead of leveraging other people, leverage my own money. Let my money work for me. Why? Because money doesn't sleep, money doesn't get sick. Money doesn't have its own agenda. It does what you tell it to do. You just have to be a good steward of your money. You guys don't even know I'm kind of practicing on you guys right now, getting back into this because I'm going to be giving this type of a speech at our events. And it's been a while. So I wanted to get into the investor quadrant and how to do that. Because if you want to be a certified investor in the United States, you got to have at least $1 million or more. I was just listening to the radio this morning, and there was an advertisement on financial, well, a woman that owns a law firm and deals with finances and helping people with their retirement. And after she talked about the average person with their 401ks and whatnot, at the very end, then she said, what qualifies you to be able to come into her office? You have to have $1 million. And I'm like, you just spent 15 minutes talking about to the people that are working a 9 to 5 job. They don't have no $1 million. The average person only has $1,000 in their savings account. And then at the very end, oh yeah, you got to have $1 million, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million. Come see me if you've got that. I'm like, well, you're not going to get any business. But I said, how can I get involved without having to be in the traditional, we call it trade fi space. And I heard about this thing called Bitcoin. And I've known about it since 2010 and did absolutely nothing with it until 6 years later when I bought Bitcoin for the very first time in 2016. And I bought 3 Bitcoin. You want to know what the price of Bitcoin was at that time? 3 Bitcoin? $640 each. $640. I bought 3 of them. It was end of September 2016. I sold those 3 Bitcoin in December 2016 for Christmas presents. Want to know why? I actually forgot I had them. And then December's always been the slowest month of the year for me, but it's also my most expensive month. And so I was looking at my finances. I said, I need some extra money here. Oh, wait, I got those Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin worth? It was worth $870 a coin. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I had 3 of them. I got them for 640 each. And I sold my 3 Bitcoin and I thought I was the smartest person in the world. I said, I don't need to know about this Bitcoin thing. I just made money off of it. 1 year later, December 2017, Bitcoin was worth $20,000 a coin. December 2017. I sold 3 of them a year earlier for $870 each. That wasn't a very smart move of me, huh? Had I understood and known what was going on, I would have made more than $60,000 on less than a $2,000 spend. So in 2017, I said, okay, I need to learn about this thing. Unfortunately, there was no ILCA. There was no Brandon Ivey around to teach. I had friends that became millionaires from Bitcoin because they were a part of projects, but none of them even understood what it was. In fact, I asked one, can you explain this with the blockchain and this stuff? And he said, I don't know, Bitcoin just keeps going up. That's your investment strategy? Bitcoin just keeps going up? I know eventually what goes up also comes down. So I did something that I do not recommend to do. I had to teach myself. A lot of it was trial and error. But before I made a move the muscle, I spent 6 months YouTube and Google trying to understand what this Bitcoin stuff was and blockchain technology. And I had a goal, I had a plan. And I'm going to tell my story in Chicago about the summer of 2017, one of the lowest financial points in my life. The the worst year of my life was 2011, but financially it was the summer of 2017. That was a time where I almost had to go back and get a job. In fact, I was actually hired. The day I was supposed to start, I quit. But I'll tell that story in Chicago. But I started with $30. $30 and my knowledge. This is where education is more important than money. People come to me all the time and say, Brandon, I have $50,000. Where should I put it? What token should I buy? I say, education. Yeah. I get that. But what about, can you recommend some tokens for me? No, education. Now, Brandon, I don't understand why this question is so hard for you. Just tell me some tokens I can get. I said, what good is that doing to you? Because I can tell you the tokens. You go buy it, but you're not going to know when to move it. You're not going to know when to sell it, when to tether, when to get back in, how to move it, how for it not to get stolen from you. Education is the most important. So I had that. Now, after those 6 months of me learning, though, I did learn something that 50% of the information that I received was wrong. The other 50% was outdated. So that's why people say, Brandon, why did you start doing crypto talks? I did it because I had to stay current because the YouTube videos on crypto were outdated and I couldn't trust the YouTubers out there that were so-called experts in crypto that had 200, 300,000 followers because I learned that they were manipulating the system and they were manipulating their followers and the followers didn't figure it out. I did because I educated myself. So the only way that I could stay up on this was every morning I would start looking at the crypto news. And then I said, you know what? People keep asking me questions all the time. I'll just do crypto talks on live on Facebook. And I was doing two of them a day. Early morning crypto talk and late night crypto talk back in those days. Not to be entertaining, not to create a following, to for me personally to stay on top of this. And I'm just taking people along for the ride. So I've been doing crypto talk since 2018. But what I learned with that education allowed me to flip $30. And I showed you guys in my diamond class, my very first trade, August 29th, 2017, how I flipped $30 into six figures in 3.5 months by the end of December. And then when Bitcoin was going down, I actually made more money when Bitcoin was going down in 2018 than when it goes up. And I showed you guys that as well. I even told you guys the name of the token that I used where I made more money in one day than most people make a year on their job. And because of that, then people and companies started approaching me asking if I could create crypto educational content, videos. One company in particular called Cryptogenics, KGX, asked if I could help build out a crypto library portfolio. And that's where Bitcoin 101, Crypto Advanced, How to Trade Bitcoin and Crypto was created. And our very first Bitcoin boot camp that we did was in Chicago because of that. And I've been consulting ever since, and even to the point where universities have been using my crypto education. And all of my crypto education is done in streaming video, anywhere between 5 minutes to 30 minutes long. So you're not feeling like, you don't have enough time, and it's designed for people who have busy schedules, people who don't have enough money to go back to school. You might have one or two jobs. You go at it at your own pace. Now, we started with 3 courses back then and 45 videos, but today we now have 13 courses and almost 200 videos on main topics: Bitcoin 101, Crypto Advanced, How to Trade Bitcoin and Crypto, Internet of Things, Decentralized Finance, NFTs, Web3, Metaverse, Tokenization, AI, Security. That's one of the biggest ones right there. And two more I just forgot off the top of my head. But we have 13. And each year I try to launch at least 3 new courses that's going to pertain to the future. Oh, yeah, CBDCs. So new courses that I already have outlined is smart cities and stable coins. That's the next two as well. Stable coins. That's going to be a big one. In fact, that's going to impact every single one of you. If you've never even heard of the word stable coin before, you will have no choice but to know about it. And if you're an American, it's because Donald Trump signed an executive order saying that all federal agencies, it's a mandate by September, have to be doing all transactions, whether it's through paying for contractors, work, pensions, and salaries, will be done in digital currency, whether you like it or not. And if the federal government starts doing that, that's going to move to the private sector as well. The entire world, and I saw the articles Ms. Casa posted for me this morning that I'm going to cover in Crypto Talk. The world is moving fast to this. Donald Trump is forcing BRICS to speed up their efforts. So we're going to cover a couple articles about that. So whether you like it or not, believe it or not, trust it or not, your opinion of this is irrelevant. This is going to happen. The best way to arm yourself is first to be educated to know what's coming. And then you can make the right decision on how to move forward. And that's what ILCA is all about. ILCA is 3 years old. We have been doing this successfully for a while. And let me share screen to show you some of the services that we offer. We offer, first and foremost, I offer one-on-one consultation for people who don't have enough time to want to join our community. They don't have enough time to be a part of our live events that we have and crypto talks and all that. And they may have questions, but don't feel comfortable with the public knowing what their questions are. You can book one-on-one time with me if you go to winwithivy.org. Winwithivy.org. You can set up a one-on-one consultation with me. I've got 3 different options: 30-minute consultation for $125, 1 hour for $240, or 3 hours, the executive plan, for $695. So there's a lot of people that like to do that, especially because of their schedules. But then we have our courses. Let me go over our courses first. So all of our courses combined, the cost is $2,499 for our crypto education courses. That's 13 of them. Or you can get them in bundles. So let's say you say, well, Brandon, I'm kind of brand new. I just want to kind of get my feet wet first. You can get our first bundle, the Bitcoin and Blockchain Education Bundle, where it has Bitcoin 101, Crypto Advanced, How to Trade Bitcoin and Crypto, and Internet of Things for $750. So you can get them in bundles for $750 each. Or you might say, Brandon, I'm not a beginner. I know, Bitcoin and Blockchain Education Bundle, and I know Crypto Essentials with DeFi, NFT, and Metaverse. But hey, what I'm most concerned about is somebody stealing my crypto from me. What's happening with the future, with decentralization, tokenization. You might want to get the Crypto Education Elite Bundle and the Blockchain and Security Mastery. So you can get those as bundle packs by themselves as well. Then you have some people that say, Brandon, I got to be honest with you. If you put a video on and I'm sitting there watching it, I have ADHD and I'm not going to be able to sit through the whole thing, even if it's only 15 minutes long. I need that personal touch. I need that live. Can I be a part of that? Well, yes, we have three memberships that you can be a part of. We have our Inner Circle Gold membership for $49.95 a month, our Diamond membership for $115 a month, and our Platinum membership for $149 a month. Each of these gets you different options. For example, the Gold membership is getting you access to our Inner Circle. We do a crypto talk Monday through Thursday just for our Inner Circle. That is priceless. In fact, that's kind of the backbone of our community because you're getting me almost every day. And this is where we're learning what news going on. We're able to make predictions. We're able to make moves. Let me ask you guys a question here. If you have found our Inner Circle beneficial prices and have even made money because of it, type me in the chat box. It's like what Forrest Gump said. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. It's like Christmas for me every day. I do not read the articles before we start. That's the whole point. I'm learning, and you're learning with me. And we take notes and we make moves based on that. The next is our Diamond membership, where you're getting everything from also our Gold members are also being able to rent our Bitcoin 101 courses. So you don't have to buy the courses. As long as you're a Gold member, you have access to all Bitcoin 101 courses. Our Diamond members for $115 a month get everything the Inner Circle gets, plus I do two specialized courses a night. I mean, two a week. Every one on Tuesday night and Wednesday night, where I take one lesson from all of our courses and I do it live. So it's not just a recorded video. The benefit of me doing it live is I'm giving you commentary based on what's happening in the world right now. And you're able to ask questions. We do Q&A at the end. So it's a more personal live event of that same lesson. Also, Diamond members will get access to 6 of our courses as long as you're a Diamond member. Bitcoin 101, Crypto Advanced, How to Trade Bitcoin and Crypto, Internet of Things, Decentralized Finance, and NFTs. You get access to 6 of them. Then we have our Platinum membership for $149 a month. This gets you everything. Not only everything from the Gold and Diamond, but you're also going to get access to all 13 courses. So here's kind of like a wise thing to do. Instead of spending $24.95 just to get all the courses outright, sign up as a Platinum member for $149 and go through all the courses. Now, as long as you're a Platinum member, you will have access to every new course that I create as well, all the new courses. So Platinum member, plus there's a whole lot of other benefits I'm not going to go into today by being a Platinum member. And also, you know what I skipped? Our introduction to ILCA is once a month we do a 5-day challenge. What does that mean? Well, this is like when I used to do my Bitcoin boot camps. For 1 hour a night for 5 days, we take some lessons from Bitcoin 101 and I do it live to the public at no cost. It's free. So we cover, right now I'm so on security, but we cover what is the blockchain on first night. Second night, what are cryptocurrencies? How do they work? On the third night, we cover what are wallets? How do I buy crypto? How do I move it around? What is that? And then right now we're on the security. We cover security. What is security? Wallet and security. Why security is so important. Between hardware and software wallets, decentralization and centralization, why that's so important. And then sometimes every other month, I'll do something special. I take lessons from our other courses and incorporate it. But it's for the beginners. So you don't have to pay anything but your own 1 hour time to learn. Look at the Catherine. Yes, I was working with 3 people who got scammed. Let me tell you something. If you go through my 5-day challenge, I guarantee you those 3 people who got scammed would have heard information that would have prevented them from getting scammed. Because I cover that in our 5-day challenge at no cost. The average person that gets scammed has lost more than $22,000 each. Do you know in California, the average person that got scammed from pig butchering and fishing scams is more than $140,000 each. each. So would you be willing to use 5 hours of your time to learn how to save your life savings? This is why when people say, I've got money, I say the first thing you need is crypto education. Don't start spending your money on this until you know what's going on to the point you don't need to ask anybody for help. The whole point is to empower you so that you know the right moves to make for you. Because what may be best for me may not be best for you. I don't teach you how to follow me. I teach you how to think and look at things for yourself. That's the difference. I'm not trying to create a following here. I'm trying to educate a community. So what's the difference between Brandon and these other self-promoters and things out there? That's the big difference right there. And we have our memberships in place to allow that to make that happen. Then we also have people say, well, Brandon, I'm in this because I want to make money, right? I'm in crypto because I want to make money. I want to get paid. I hear about people becoming millionaires, Shiba Inu, Dogecoin. I want to be a Bitcoin millionaire. Well, I'm offering you a way that you can also get paid as well. I call this earning while you're learning because if you think crypto education is important, don't you think you're going to know people who think crypto education is important as well? Well, you can share with them ILCA. If you're one of our memberships, I'm going to pay you a commission for anybody that you share and refer ILCA over to. This is not MLM. This is not network marketing. This is not multiple levels. This is not team building. It's only a referral commission. If you're a gold member, you're going to earn 5%. So if you share ILCA with anybody and they purchase anything, you get 5%. What if you're a gold member and you share with somebody who becomes a platinum member and they're $149 a month? You're going to make 5% of $149 a month, even though you're not even a platinum member. If you're a diamond member, you're going to earn 10%. If you're a platinum member, you get to earn 20%. So if you're looking for ways to have some extra income coming in on a monthly basis, I'm just saying that this was me. I'd be out there, I sign up 10 platinum members. And I'm getting 20% of $149 a month each. Get to a point where it's paying for my own platinum membership as 20%. So you can share ILCA and earn. What if you share with somebody who gets this course for $24.99 and you're a platinum member? You get 20% of this. I'd be sharing with everybody because everybody needs crypto education. As far as our 5-day challenge, the next one is happening on April. We're still in April. April 28th. Yeah, Monday, April 28th, in 2 weeks, or a week from this Monday. That week will be our next 5-day challenge. Get back to the person who invited you, and they will get you the link to register to be a part of our 5-day challenge, at least to test it out, see what's going on there. We also have this. People say, well, Brandon, I do know a lot of people. I have a community of people. No, that 20% is not a one-time payout. Well, if they get the courses, that's only a one-time payout. If they get the memberships, every time they pay, that's every month. So if they're on a gold, platinum, or a diamond, that's every single month that you get that. Every time they pay, you get 20%. But then I have people say, Brandon, I know a lot of people, they need crypto education desperately. However, I don't want to promote you. I like you, I love you, it's all good, but if I send my community to you, then they become your community. And I'm not trying to promote you, I'm trying to build my own brand. We have a partnership program also. We have a partnership program. You go to ilcafounders.com. Our partnership program is designed for individuals who already have their own brand. But you may not have a product to sell. So I have a platform. I have my own marketing company. We can create for you either as a duplicate of my platform, or we will create for you a website of your own brand where your pictures, your information, your company name, whatever you want, your language on it, but you're able to sell my crypto courses. See, my crypto courses are done in a way that they are generic, so companies can white label them. I don't say my name. I don't say my company. I don't even show my face. It's only my voice on the audio, so anybody can use them. So now you can sell on your own website my crypto courses. Only difference is you will now earn 50%. We're partners, 50-50 split. So you don't even have to do any of the work. All you got to do is put your website in front. Here's an example. I think I have Carla's. Yeah, here's like Carla's, for example. Crypto education. Oh, yeah, I forgot too. If you're a partner with me as well, I will allow you to sell my courses at a discount. So it is actually cheaper to get my courses from you than me. So instead of paying $24.99 for all of my courses, Carla can sell them for $9.99. That means she will earn about $500 per sell. So what if you had, I don't know, a list of maybe a community of 50 people? What if 25 people bought this from you? 25 people times $500. You just made $12,500. You might say, Brandon, no, I want to sell them at regular price. Okay. I'm not going to be mad at that. You might say, Brandon, I want to sell them for more than what you're selling them for. I have a different clientele of people. I don't care. That's fine. You just can't go lower than $9.99. We will set it up for you. It takes about 2 weeks. Now, what is the cost to do this? Because there is a cost. If you want to be a part of, well, I like dream mode. Before I give you the cost, what if, no, I'll give you the cost first, and then I'm going to dream mode you. The cost, if you are not a member of our community, a one time to set this up is $2,500 one time. It'll take about 2 weeks to a month and $199 a month to maintain. You're also going to get a whole CRM system with back office, with contacts, with calendars, with emails, all that kind of stuff that comes with it. My site, my company's hosting it for you. So $199 a month to maintain, you earn 50%. If you are a member of our community, it's only $1,000 one time to set up and then $199 a month. Now, also from that, you're getting treated like a platinum member also. So you get everything ILCA has to offer for that $199 a month. It is not, someone asked me, Brandon, if I am a platinum member and I want to be a partner, does that mean I have to pay $149 a month and then another $199 a month? No, you just pay $50 more. So $199 a month and you get everything a platinum member gets, except now you're getting 50% on all commissions instead of 20%. So let me dream out this again. Let's say you are a big time person. You understand that the money is in your list and you've got 10,000 people on your list and you put your website selling my crypto courses in front of them. Do you know in marketing world, it doesn't matter what you're selling. Oh, you always have at least 2% of the people will buy. 98% will say no. It can be the worst thing out there. 2% of people will still buy. What's 2% of 10,000 people? 20 cells? Wait, well, wait, 10%. No, 200 cells. 200 cells. $500 each. You just made $100,000. If this was me, I'm just saying, if I was on the other side, not only would I become a partner, but I would also go find a marketing team and I would ask them, look, I need to put 1,000 people a week in front. How much is that going to cost me to do? 1,000 people in front of my website. And you're pulling 20 to 30 sales a week. I'm just saying. So there's a lot of money that can be made just from being a part of the ILCA community. Now I want to talk about the two events we have coming. And again, if you want to be a part of any of this, get back with the person who invited you. So they will give you, because they have their own links too. If nobody invited you, send a message to Miss Casa and or myself privately, and we will get you set up. The next thing is we have two events that I'm getting back on the road that I'm taking advantage of. The first is there's a Bitcoin 2025 event in Vegas. Bitcoin 2025 event. What does Maggie say? I'm deeply grateful for the crypto knowledge I've gained over the past few months. It has consistently helped me achieve results in the crypto market. Yes. What excites me the most is that I was able to move out the way. Okay, able to apply what I've learned to successfully prevent my cousin in the US from almost fell victim to a scam yesterday, saving him from losing a large sum of money he had set aside to buy a house. Ooh, that's what it's about. That's why I say this is priceless. You don't know what you might have avoided because your knowledge allowed you to avoid something. I can't predict what you're going to avoid. So congratulations, Maggie. That's an excellent story. You know what? I love if you created a short testimonial video about that. I'm collecting them. I know Rita sent in one as well. So we're looking for testimonial videos for those of you that's part of ILCA. So coming up, we have a Bitcoin 2025 event in Vegas. Anybody that wants it's not an ILCA event. I'm going there because I want to learn. But just like Crypto Talk, I'm going to take people with me while I learn. So if you want to be able to walk around the convention floor, hang out with me while I'm there, especially on that Tuesday and Wednesday on the floor, come on out. We're going to have a dinner on Tuesday evening. We'll let you know where we're going to go, but we're going to have a meet and greet dinner on Tuesday evening in Vegas. We're going to walk around Tuesday during the day and Wednesday during the day around the convention. We're also going to do for those of you especially a part of MoveQuest, we're going to do a walk on the strip, and we'll do live streaming and take pictures and just get our steps in on the strip in front of where was it? The Valencia, and all the way down to the Bellagio Hotel, up and down the strip. So we're going to have fun doing that. And then, so if you go to, we will give you the link in the emails where to go to register to receive updates and information. And that's for Vegas. I know several of you guys are already, if you guys are already committed to coming, type it in the chat box. Oh yeah, bitcoinivy.com. Go to bitcoinivy.com to register for this so that you'll receive email updates from us. But type me in the chat box if our guys are coming to Vegas with us. Then our next event is the official ILCA event in Chicago. ILCA Chicago Impact event, July 18th, 19th, and 20th. There's going to be 3 days. That Friday night, we're going to have a meet and greet dinner on Friday night. Saturday, all day, we're going to be in like a classroom setting. Bring your laptops with you because we're going to learn some things there. We're going to be there all the way to about 5 o'clock on Wednesday. There's going to be an all-white party that evening as well, but that's something you're going to have to register early for. It's not something that we're putting on. It's something that's already happening in Chicago. We're just going to, hijack it and jump on in there. I want to give Miss Melanie Davis and Sandy Lynn their props for being on the ground in Chicago with Marnita and okay, I'm giving instructions. Marnita and Joyce to put all of this stuff together. But we will have some email updates with all of this stuff and everything planned out soon. But you can start to get ready now, especially with the room bookings. So this is going to be on July 18th, 19th, and 20th. And we're also going to have our ceremony for those who are getting certified. So it's like a graduation type ceremony we're going to have for you guys there. So you definitely want to be in Chicago. We're going to have guest speakers as well. Herschel Crow has already committed. So we're going to have Q&A time. We're also going to do a MoveQuest presentation. So if you know anybody in Chicago, you want them to come on out. And the event is free. Doesn't cost you anything. All you got to do is fly there and pay for your hotel room. And we're going to have a discount on the hotel room that we're staying at too. So if you want to register for the Chicago event, go to ilcaevent.com. ilcaevent.com. Let me type that on the YouTube channel. HTTPS ILCA event. Not with an S, just event.com. Okay, that's Chicago. After Ms. Casa and the team has everything ready, then I am going to be running my mouth like there's no tomorrow, starting next week. So I'll be doing a lot of lives and promoting for the Chicago event. It's our first, but it's not our last because we're going to have another event in November, and I'm already planning for the next event in February of next year. And I'll give you a hint for the one in November. We're going to be sending out a poll to you guys to see because I already have some cities in mind I want to go to. Just like Catherine says, what about Colorado? Right? So we'll take a poll to see where you guys would like. I'm looking, the top three cities I'm looking at is Atlanta, Dallas, or Houston. But I want to see where we can get the most amount of people. But I'm already going to plan for February in Los Angeles next year. February 2026 will be in my backyard. So probably on Ontario. We have Ontario Airport right there. We have the convention center. We have a whole bunch of hotels. That's where I used to host my local meetings when I was with ACN back in the day. So we're going to do that February of 2026. I'm already planning for that with the local people here in LA. So be prepared. So that's not the last. We got a whole lot coming. Yeah, yeah, we can Philly. Yeah, I did one in Philly. I did Philadelphia Bitcoin Boot Camp. I think 2019. That's the last time I did one in Philly. Uh, so we're gonna have a lot of stuff. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And then my ultimate goal, though, I want to be. And right now, we got three of them this year. My next goal is to have one ILCA event, main event every quarter, at least 4 times a year. I know Miss Costa's talking about us doing a cruise. Do you guys like to have an ILCA cruise? But ultimately, I actually want to be doing something once a month in different cities. That's my ultimate goal. But we'll eventually get there. Depends on the size of our community. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is ILCA. That is our community. I should have shown this. We have a membership portal once you do join our membership, and we have our own app where you have access to all of the crypto education. For example, I'm going to go to our courses. We have our own chat features based on which membership you have. So, and that's for security reasons. So we don't have any hackers and scammers prying eyes watching what we're doing unless they want to pay for it, and they quickly will be able to be found out and discarded. But to access all of our courses once you pay for them, Bitcoin 101, Crypto Advanced, Trading Bitcoin and Crypto, Internet of Things, Decentralized Finance, NFTs, Metaverse, Tokenization, Artificial Intelligence, Web 3.0. And we record everything, even our crypto talks. I just want to play this part, especially for security, since people are getting robbed left and right. Listen to this short 1 minute here. Let me know if you can't hear the audio. By far, the most important lesson to learn out of everything ILCA has to offer is our courses on security. The worst feeling in the world is to build your crypto portfolio for years, only to lose all of it in the blink of an eye or the click of your mouse. This course provides a comprehensive guide to safeguarding digital assets in the ever-evolving crypto ecosystem. It covers critical topics such as secure wallet usage, protecting private keys, recognizing and mitigating phishing attacks, and understanding the principles of blockchain security. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced crypto user, this course equips you with the tools and knowledge needed to navigate the crypto world safely and confidently. Security is everything. Security is everything. We've got hardware versus software security, wallet security, cold storage for crypto security, crimeware as a service. That one shook me when I learned about that. Professional criminals out there are teaching other people how to do it and providing services to do it. So now anybody can be one. Decentralized exchanges and security risks, smart contract audit and security, protecting against phishing scams, pig butchering scams in crypto. And we did these live also in our diamond class. Now, let's say you're like, man, I missed that. Am I too late? When are you going to do those live classes again, Brandon? Well, let me tell you something. You join as a platinum member, then you're going to have access, or a diamond member. Diamond, where's my diamond courses? You have it right here. No, not there. Advanced Internet Tokenization, Metaverse DeFi, Artificial Intelligence, VIP, Inner Circle. Oh, here we go. Diamond class recordings. You will be able to look at all of our previous recordings, even from 2024. All of we did how many classes last year? 53 classes, diamond classes. Ended December 18th, the future of decentralization. Then let's go to 2025. So you can go back to January and watch what we covered. Why crypto security is important. Securely storing private keys and seed phrases. This is must. Because this is where people are getting got all the time. Securing your private keys. Hey, today, this is my sixth broadcast digital device for this private keys. Because they can seed phrases. It was how to store your seed phrase. You guys remember? This is why people get losing all their crypto because they don't understand that stuff. That we're doing right now. We're on the how to trade Bitcoin and crypto. So we've already done on April 1st. What is trading? What are whales? Understanding candlesticks, Bollinger Bands, and then last week we did buy the dips and pump and dump schemes. In fact, I saw an article I'm going to talk about right now about Donald Trump's token, and I'm going to let you guys in the diamond class let me know, was it a pump and dump? Based on what you see, is it a pump and dump? All right, so this is how you access all of our stuff, even our inner circle talks that sometimes people, I do them in the morning. You might be at work, you can't be on them live. I record them every single one. So you can go back to 2024, all my crypto talks, but 2025, let's look at April. The last one we did was trade war. China's nuclear option is a double-edged sword. Pakistani official warns. Here we got another. Trump helps cool Canadian inflation as election day looms. That was on April 17th. That was the last crypto talk we did 2 days ago. So we're about to do one literally right now. So before I get into crypto talk, to give you guys a public example of what we do in our community, if you like what you see and you want to join our community, please get back with the person who invited you. Let them know whether you're in, you want to be a part of it, and how. Do you want to get our courses? Do you want to just register for the 5-day challenge? Do you want to be in our inner circle and VIP members with us? Do you want to be a partner? Which is where if I was on the outside, the only thing I'm looking at, because I'm a businessman, not only do I want to be crypto educated, but I want to make money. So I need to be a partner so I can make 50% off of the work you did. That's what I like. Work smarter, not harder. And I put it in front of people, so that's no problem. All right, now we're going to switch gears. I'm going to give you a little taste of what it's like to be in our VIP members in our inner circle. So the first thing I look at is the market. What's going on in the market? I read the charts, and that is important. I also have a lesson on how to read the charts. The charts, once you learn this skill, nobody could take it away from you. So I look at the traditional charts. Right now let me refresh. We've got the Dow is down 527 points. S&P is up slightly. NASDAQ is down. Futures, though, because this is the weekend. We got another down 455 points looking at for the futures. Europe, slightly down. Asia, slightly in the green. There's going to be, don't mess up on me now. My internet's been acting funny. You guys let me know if all of a sudden my internet shuts off. Come on, don't mess up on me. All right, let's go to crypto. Crypto news. Okay, our crypto market cap. CoinGecko, we've got down slightly 0.9%. If you guys can still hear me, type Y in the chat box. Want to make sure I'm still here. All right, cool. Last time I was on a meeting with Marnita and I was talking for 10 minutes and didn't know that I was down. Okay. So the crypto market cap is slightly down almost 1%. Bitcoin dominance is at 60.9%. Ethereum, this one has me not nervous or concerned, but it has my eyebrow up that Ethereum is down less than 7% of the market cap. Traditionally, it's always been above 10%, but now it's down. So that lets me know some other tokens are taking up that position, and we need to find out who. Bitcoin is at $85,000, down up 1%. Ethereum is at 1,500, up 1.5%. Ripple is up almost 1%. Solana is up 4.4%. Doge is up 1%. Cardano, Lido Staked Ether, Leo, Chainlink, Avalanche is up 4.1%. Stellar's up 1.5%. No, Yvette, I've never heard of that token, LBR. Then I look at any outliers here, anything that stands out. Hyperliquid is up 9.7%, even though the market is down, is up 13.2% on the week. So when I see something like that, I put it in my mind to think, why? What's going on that one spiked up? And I want to see any outliers on the opposite side too. Nope. So best performers in the last 24 hours. Oh, this is Saturday. So I got to go with by week. The last time I did a public broadcast. So artificial intelligence, FET is up 13.7% on the week. Hyperliquid, 13.2. Solana, 6.3. Binance Staked Sol, Flare, Bit&Soar, Immutable, Bitcoin Cash, Caspa. Okay. Let's see worst performers in the last 24 hours or last week. Fartcoin. We were looking at this one earlier this week. Ethena, Sonic, Pi Network, Mantle, Celestia, Chronos, down 7.6. Am I still signed in here? I am. I'll let it go. Sui's down 7.6. Okay. So we take a mental snapshot of this, and when Monday morning, when we do our inner circle again, we'll see what tokens have moved since today, since Saturday. Okay, next is what's going on with MoveQuest. Let's see here. MoveQuest is up 3.34% in the last 24 hours. Buy orders is over $50,000. Sell orders is at 35,000. RSI though, the RSI has it still kind of at the bottom with a ways to go kind of up. So I expect this to go up a little bit more. So we're at $15.14. Those of you in the inner circle know when it comes to MoveQuest, I have a plan how to earn $2,500 to $5,000 a month without having to recruit anybody, without having to sell anything, just based on your own physical activity. For my goal is for this to really work the way I want it to work, this token needs to be between $20 to $25. But it can work at $15. So this is a very strong position for us to be in right now for my strategy to work. Because if you can have more than what I've been teaching, I'm not going to say it publicly. You got to be a part of our inner circle to know what that strategy is. Liquidity still is at 1.8 million. That's very, very strong. So with a token that launched at $1 9 months ago, and now we're sitting at $15 today with 1.8 million liquidity and $30 million worth of sales, meaning people have been able to sell their token and walk away. 100% of the people have won. This is one of the most successful smart contracts I have ever seen. Period. I mean, I may disagree with how things may be launching and moving around, but just the smart contract itself, this is the most successful smart contract I've ever seen. So being a part of our community means that, yeah, you're not only going to learn, but you're going to earn as well, and you don't have to sell anything. So I like this project here. Next we look at now is the news. Why? Because the markets move more than just you reading the charts. The markets move based on geopolitics. And the number one mover of the market right now, Donald Trump. The moves that Donald Trump makes impacts traditional finance and crypto finance. So let's take a look at some of the news. And if you're brand new, I do not read the news before I do crypto talk. I do not even pick these articles. Ms. Casa has them all laid out for me. So right before we get started, I just pull them up. So the only thing I see is the headline. So I'm reading these for the first time with you guys. So you're getting my live reaction while I'm getting to it. So this is not me manipulating anything or saying, yeah, I think you guys should buy this token. And I already bought it 4 hours ago. You know, that's what those YouTube people do. So Trump token holders face 90% decline from peak as unlock begins. That's going to be worse. So those that had their tokens locked all this time, they're going to be screaming bloody murder. The first Trump token unlock releases $309 million worth of tokens at a steep discount from its January all-time high. Trump token holders face steep losses as the first vesting unlock goes live on April 18th. That was yesterday, releasing 40 million tokens worth roughly $309 million into circulation at a 90% discount from its peak. The unlocked tokens account for 20% of the current circulating supply and could introduce fresh volatility as it. So if you never got in on the Trump token and you want to, now would be the time to do it. You're getting a 90% discount if you buy them right now, and then you have nothing to lose. But if it goes back up, so then you got to ask yourself, do you believe the Trump token at any point in the future will go up? If the answer is yes, this is the time you want to buy it. And let me ask the Diamond members, let's take away the name Trump. In fact, you don't even know the name of the token. Okay. You don't even know the name of the token. And all you did, if I just said, look at this chart here on this token launch, what would you describe it as? Would you describe this as a successful launch? It launched at $28, reached an all-time high of $44.28. No, $73 3 months ago. And then 3 months later, it's worth $8.33. So I have two questions for you. First, is this a successful launch? Yes or no? The second question is, does this look like a pump and dump? Yes or no? Take away the name of the coin. So this is why being educated is so important. Now, if you believe that because this is the Trump coin and he can manipulate the market eventually, do you believe this token will go up? If the answer is yes, this is the time to buy. Okay. And then sit on it and sit on it for a couple of years. You know, personally, I think anything with the Trump name on it is always going to be nostalgia for at least 30% of the American population. Well, they will buy and purchase anything with Trump's name on it, no matter what it is. So there's always going to be a buying base there. It's just a matter of the problem is most of them bought here. Okay. As soon as it launched, oh, I got to get the Trump coin. They bought here. Now they're stuck. So will there be a fresh new set of buyers, or will these people be willing to buy more here? That's what you've got to figure out for yourself. I can't give you that answer, but this is what we cover. So let's see here. The Trump token is down 89.5%. That reminds me, the reason why they wrote this is because $309 million worth, 40 million tokens. I have a strategy when it comes to MoveQuest because the hatchery. If you guys saw, I think I saw Rita posted. I haven't looked at this yet. Let me take a look. The hatchery is now expanded. Well, it's 91% full. 313,000 MQT. Wasn't this at 300,000 before? And then she moved it up and added 41,000 more to be coming in here, but it's 91% full. So you have to think strategically here. What's going to happen when the first 222 days are up and people get those MQT back? Will they hold it? Will they sell it? Or will they put it back in the hatchery? And what will the value of MQT do the moment those tokens are now back in circulation? So knowing this information, we can make certain moves based on that information that I will only speak on in our inner circle because I have a strategy on what to do, how to profit the most from it without hurting the ecosystem. Okay. Does the increased size of the hatchery impact the daily? No, doesn't impact the daily rewards that I know of, unless Lynette does another update. All right, so Trump, who owns the Trump token supply? Wait, let's go back. The Trump token is down 89.5% from its all-time high. Just 2 days after launching ahead of President Donald Trump's inauguration, the token's value collapsed, and this was the problem. One, I would have launched this thing literally either right before no, because you didn't know if he was going to win, or did he? I would have launched it right after he won back in November, not 2 days before freaking inauguration. So they did this all wrong. The token's value collapsed in the weeks following its debut, with over 800,000 wallets suffering a total of $2 billion in losses. But when there's $2 billion in losses, somebody made money. That's the real question. Not who lost money, who made money. Gains or losses are only realized upon sale. So here's something else we also learned too. And I had to teach my mom this. When she's dollar cost averaging, she was looking at the price of Bitcoin. And every time it started going down, she called me up freaking out thinking she's losing money. I said, Mom, did you sell your tokens? No, then you didn't lose any money. And she didn't understand that. I said, okay, think about the house you live in. You live in a multi-million-dollar home. If the value of the home goes down, did you lose $1 million? No, I said, why not? Because I didn't sell it. There you go. But the flip is also true. If the house goes up in value and it's up $1 million, did you make $1 million? No, why not? Because I didn't sell it. There you go. It's just what its value currently is. So same with crypto, it's the same way. You don't lose anything until you sell. According to the Trump Tokens website, two organizations affiliated with Trump's business umbrella own 80% of the token supply. CIC Digital LLC and Fight, Fight, Fight. I swear I'm being trolled. Fight, Fight, Fight LLC. A report from MarketWatch notes that CIC Digital, an affiliate of the Trump Organization, was placed in a trust by the time Trump's 2024 financial disclosures to the U.S. Federal Election Commission. CIC Digital had previously been linked to Trump's non-fungible NFT tokens. Fight, Fight, Fight LLC is another Trump-affiliated business. It is co-owned by CIC, so Trump himself owns 80% of the tokens. That was not a good move. See, if they had me as an advisory, I would have had Trump making billions of dollars off of this. But the way this is looking out, he's the biggest loser on this. Wyoming, Fight, Fight, Fight is synonymous with the Trump slogan, Fight, 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 which he shouted into a camera during an assassination attempt during a campaign rally. The April 18th unlock represents a cliff, a large one-time release of tokens. While there are other cliff unlocks ahead, many tokens will be released at a steadier pace. I have a prediction to make. And when I make my predictions and I say things, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. That's the problem in America. People think that what you believe is the fact, is the truth, and it's not. It's just what I believe. So whatever I believe doesn't mean that it's the truth. But I have a prediction. When we got to look at this on Monday. So I want to look at this Trump token again. Let's go back the last week. So in the last week, we had it at a low of $7.46. It did reach up to $8.60 today, the 19th. at 3 a.m. and then it's dropped down to where it's at right now at $8.33. So it's up 8.8%. So there's been some buying going on, and it's up 8.8% when the market is down a half, almost 1%. So people are buying the dip. That changes it up a bit. My prediction. We'll have to see Monday morning because with these new tokens in circulation, will this price drop another $2 to around $6 and something cents? All right, let's make a mental note of this. If I forget, you guys make sure you, hey, Brandon, look at the Trump coin on Monday morning. Let's see where it's at then. All right, enough of that. Next up, we've got Elizabeth Warren. If Chairman Powell can be fired, it will crash the markets. Chairman Powell cannot be fired. The Federal Reserve is not a part of the government. It is private. However, the president is the one who elects the chairman. And guess who put Chairman Jerome Powell there? Anybody take a guess? Type it in the chat box. What president elected Jerome Powell to be chairman of the Federal Reserve? Trump did. But he can't fire him. Now they do have, don't they have terms? Was it how many years? I think they have terms though. Yeah, appointed. So Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts is once again alarmed by the Federal Reserve's trajectory and warned on CNBC that U.S. markets would crash if President Donald Trump were allowed to remove Chair Jerome Powell. There are three big power challenges that the Trump administration is doing right now. The first, they're challenging the judges, especially the Supreme Court. The second, they're challenging the Federal Reserve. The third, they're challenging Harvard University. These are like three unmovable objects that Trump is testing here. Now, I'm not going to talk about what's right or what's wrong. I'm only speaking on what is happening. Those three. This is the litmus test. And this is something we have to pay very, very close attention to. Who has the real power in the world? I think of Game of Thrones, where Tywin Lannister, schooling his daughter, said, "We don't have the power. The Iron Bank has the power." And she didn't understand that. The United States, you can't be a politician unless somebody is funding you. The bankers, the people you don't know of, the people behind the scenes that's pulling the strings, the Federal Reserve. That's completely separate. That's why Jerome Powell ain't afraid of Trump. But then you got Harvard. How many U.S. presidents are Harvard grads? How many judges, billionaires, politicians? He pulled the $2 billion federal funding, but Harvard's got like $500 billion behind them. That's not something, an institution I would mess with. But we'll see how this plays out. But Elizabeth Warren, who, when it comes to crypto, I am not a fan of, expressed serious concerns over Trump's influence on the U.S. Federal Reserve and his broader use of economic power. She says, if Chairman Powell can be fired by the President of the United States, it will crash the markets in the United States. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that statement, but he can't fire him. He's just going to let Jerome Powell, his term run out, and then appoint someone new. If interest rates in the United States are subject to a president who just wants to wave his magic wand, this doesn't distinguish us then from any other two-bit dictatorship around the world. That statement is actually true. That's why it's set up the way it is. Go back and study Alexander Hamilton. Addressing Trump's recent public statements criticizing Powell and hinting at his removal, Warren suggested the former president was testing the waters. So you know who was against it at the time? James Madison and Thomas Jefferson. And then after Hamilton was dead, years later, they admitted, yeah, that was a stroke of genius, what he did. Yeah. and it's been that way ever since, and now it's being challenged. She warned that even the perception of politicizing the Fed could rattle markets and compromise economic stability. I agree with that statement. While the Supreme Court is considering whether the president can remove heads of independent agencies, Warren noted that even the administration's own legal arguments seem reluctant to include the Fed in that scope. Warren's denunciation of political meddling at the Federal Reserve rings hollow in light of her own record. Just 9 months ago, she openly urged the central bank to implement an aggressive 75 basis point rate cut, directly pressuring Chair Powell to shift policy, so she's being hypocritical. Hey, you got to call them out on it. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Now she warns that even the appearance of presidential influence over the Fed threatens its credibility and market stability. That is partially true, in my opinion. Her inconsistency reveals a selective reverence for central bank independence, one that appears contingent on who is exerting pressure. Wait. I remember when Trump appointed Jerome Powell, Elizabeth Warren was running her mouth about that. Now she wants to defend Powell. The myth of Fed political independence, which asserts that the Federal Reserve has long operated as the political extension of Congress and the executive branch, Warren's past demands for rate cuts and her current claims of defending institutional neutrality reflect the very political dynamics Webster exposes. Her selective outrage does less to uphold the Fed's independence than to confirm its erosion under both parties. I agree. That's why it's independent. The Democrats are all good with it as long as it serves their interests. The Republicans are all good with it as long as it serves their interests. That's why it needs to be independent. Russia. Russian senator anticipates creation of BRICS plus dozens of nations potentially involved. So in Inner Circle, you guys have heard, I gave you the synopsis. BRICS has been in the works for a while, but Donald Trump's policies is forcing them to speed up their goals. And in my opinion, BRICS is the biggest threat to the United States financial sovereignty in the world right now. Deputy Speaker of the Federation Council revealed that several countries are set to join the BRICS Plus initiative. So as the United States is pulling back, being isolationist, America first, from the world stage, countries are going to choose sides. And whose side do you think they're going to choose as we attack our current allies right now? I saw something that I never saw in my entire life. I told you guys at the beginning I'm a huge wrestling fan. And there was a wrestling event and they were in Toronto. And whenever they have a pay-per-view up there, they always sing the US national anthem and the Canadian national anthem before the event begins. And they started off singing the US national anthem. And I had, in my entire life, I had never heard this before. Outside of the Olympics. The Canadians booed the hell, and you couldn't even hear the girls sing out of the US national anthem. And then when the Canadian anthem started, not only did they cheer, but the entire audience sang with her. I had never heard that before, and I've seen it all. So with the US being adversarial to our own allies, they're going to start looking after their own interests, which means they're also going to start looking at, hey, we need to have an alternative to the US. And what's the largest one that's sprouting up right now? Freaking BRICS. The BRICS alternative bloc composed of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. The Americans would say, that sounds like the axis of evil. Is now seeking to expand its reach and influence to other countries through BRICS. Also, that's all a funny skit when they, are we now the bad guys? Americans always want to act as if, we're the Avengers. We're the good guys in the world. Really? Konstantin Kosachev, a Russian senator of the Federation Council, said the bloc will deploy this new initiative to put dozens of allied countries in direct contact with the organization. This will not be a closed association for BRICS countries and partners, but rather a broader platform aimed at including the maximum number of participants. They're creating their own League of Nations, their own United Nations, their own NATO, their own financial bloc, their own G7 or G20. By the way, if you haven't done so, you want to watch that movie with Viola Davis, G20. That is an excellent. I don't care about the movie itself, okay, uh, but what it is representing, what they're fighting over, or what they're fighting about, is the future of what we're about to go through right now. So pay attention to that part. It's almost like White House down or something like that too. The Russian senator noted that several nations, including China, Iran, expressed support for the BRICS initiative. Several other countries are still considering their positions. I'm going to make another prediction. Do you want to know which will be the first European country to join BRICS? Anybody want to guess? Type it in the chat box. I want to see what you guys think. Which will be the first European country to either outright join BRICS or being a major trading partner with BRICS? Judy says France. Anybody else? I might have given this away because I said it a couple of weeks ago. Patty says France or the UK. Anyone else? Any other guesses? Because when it happens, we will cover it. Oh, you guys are not so sure, huh? Well, I will say who I believe it's going to be. And I believe it's going to be France. It's going to be France. Several other countries are still considering their positions. Let's see what else. The idea will be discussed during the next parliamentary forum in June, where representatives of member states and allied nations will be present. Who's holding that? South Africa did it first, then Russia. Is it India or is it Brazil that's next? See, the bloc hints at a new level of cooperation between the BRICS bloc and its allies, centered in the BRICS Plus initiative, which could be used to coordinate binding economic and governance policies, seeking to strengthen the group's position in the face of the current financial turmoil and market uncertainty. Per Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov's statements, these measures could include adopting a common payment system. Someone had asked me the other day, why not Germany? Well, again, you have to know history. There's no way in hell you're going to see Germany and Russia on the same side anytime soon. Okay. Germany's directly responsible for what is it? What, 14 to 20 million Russian deaths just 80 years ago? And then Russia with the Soviet Union divided Germany with do you know how many crimes, even during the Cold War era, that the Russians imposed on the Germans? And then what the Germans did to the Russians? That's not going to happen anytime soon. But stranger things have happened. We just saw 2 weeks ago Japan siding with China against the United States. What? What? If you know history, you understand why I'm surprised by that. They found a common enemy. Japan's like, wait a minute. All right, America, we see what you're doing over there. Hey, we got to start looking out for our own interests. And this is the danger. Are we going to allow Japan to be independent and arm themselves again? Are we going to allow Germany to do the same thing? We know what's happened last time that happened. Okay, next up. BRICS. Again, another article about BRICS. BRICS poised for explosive growth as tariffs push nations away, expert says. Oh, Brazil's next up. That's going to be interesting. We're going to cover that live, July 6th through the 7th. Okay. I wonder, is Brazil honoring international law? Because if Putin, he's an international criminal. If he travels anywhere, he's supposed to be arrested on the tarmac. That's why he didn't go to South Africa. I wonder if he will show up to Brazil. I doubt it. I doubt it. BRICS poised for explosive growth. Surging BRICS momentum is supercharged by escalating U.S. tariffs, driving emerging economies to abandon Western dominance and embrace a bold new multilateral power structure, a Russian expert says. And for those of you that's listening to me for the first time, you're like, why is he talking about this politics stuff? This is directly correlating to crypto news because this is crypto news I'm getting it from. Because these actions will directly and indirectly impact the markets. So if we want to be able to make accurate predictions on how we move our money, we have to be able to see what they're going to do. You know, I made a killing off of Trump and his tariffs because I was accurately able to predict what the market was going to do. And I said so in Inner Circle. So someone sent me a message, hey, Brandon, dummy, how come you're not calling Trump out for insider trading? There was no insider trading. What? People are shocked that I say that. No, because Trump was public with it. He wasn't doing nothing secretly. He told everybody exactly what he was going to do. He told you when to buy. It wasn't a secret internal memo. He tweeted it. Now's the time to buy. 3 hours later, he puts a 90-day pause on the sanctions. I mean, not sanctions, the tariffs. And what did the market do? Yeah. And I made a gang of money off of that. All right. Surging BRICS momentum is supercharged by escalating U.S. tariffs. Ekaterina Arapova, director of the Center of Sanction Policy Expertise at the Institute for International Studies and deputy dean of the Department of International Relations. I said, wow, what does she have to say? Rising trade tensions under U.S. President Donald Trump could push more countries to consider joining BRICS. Isn't that what I said? Addressing the strategic implications of current trade policies, Arapova pointed to growing discontent among developing nations as a potential driver of BRICS expansion, particularly in Asia and Africa, where countries may seek alternatives to U.S.-centered economic systems. In recent days, and all throughout the past month, we have had a front row seat to the new challenges that have emerged from the latest, much bigger wave of trade war the current U.S. administration is unleashing. She was quoted by TASS as saying, I think that what we are seeing now is a context that may seriously facilitate additional accelerated continuity of the values and approaches that have helped to shape the BRICS spirit as we know it today. I agree. And it doesn't help when you have J.D. Vance running out there calling Chinese peasants. This is somebody needs to throw down Sun Tzu's Art of War for him to read. At some point, there's times where you do need to respect your enemy. All that did, I mean, as ignorant as you can be, there are more kids in honor roll in China than there are kids in school in America. There is a larger middle class to wealthy people in China than there are people in the United States. Period. There are more wealthy individuals than in the United States. So when you go out there and you run, oh, peasants, what do you think other nations are going to look at? So if that's how the U.S. wants to look at them, how are they viewing us? Why do we want to do our own arrogance and ignorance is going to cost us? She underlined that one of the group's key foundations could prove especially influential. I believe that this principle is inclusivity in the present day environment will probably motivate third countries and stimulate them to join this multilateral format as full-fledged members in the next couple of years. Yeah, I said that 3 years ago. I even said it I thought Biden administration wasn't doing things the right way either. And I called them out on that, especially how they were handling the crypto side. I said, this is the most ignorant, stupid thing to do. And I won't go into details because I already have about what they set, the Biden administration set America back at least 5 years on being able to lead the world with this new technology. It's going to take us another few years to recover from that. Trump's tariffs will likely push countries as Thailand, Malaysia, and Vietnam towards seeking BRICS membership. I agree. Moreover, I think that African countries will show considerably more interest as well. I agree with that too. We can see this practically in real time from Uganda as we see these contacts intensifying. Yes, especially since our current American administration thinks that all these African countries are shithole countries. So how are we going to garner? How can we tell them, yeah, you guys need to come to the American side when we look down upon them? We don't want to have no type of immigration. If you're my color, you're a shithole country. But do business with us. What? We got to be realistic here. If you understand and study the civil rights movement, I wrote a dissertation in college that was not popular at all. I got a lot of heat from Morehouse on this. And it was called the interest convergence theory. And the hypothesis was that the civil rights movement, the end of segregation, was allowed to happen. The African Americans that made noise about it, yeah, we made noise about it, but that's not why it happened. Because their parents' generation made noise about it. Martin Luther King's father made noise about it. His parents made noise about it. But why was it allowed to happen in the 60s? You want to know why? And I'm just going to be very brief on this. So there was something called the space race and the Cold War after World War II was going on, and the world was choosing sides between American democracy and capitalism and Russian communism because we had already lost China. China was our ally in World War II. Why do you think Taiwan is such a big deal? Because the party that was in control of China was backed by America. The communists threw them out. They fled to Taiwan. And the US has been defending them ever since. That's still a point of contention. But what happened was, as the world began to choose sides between the Soviet Union's way and the United States way, diplomats were coming to America. 70% of the world are people of color, and they were coming to a racist, segregated America. And they got to experience racism firsthand, and it was not flattering for America, especially if we wanted to be this new world power on the stage to defeat communism. So the federal government forced desegregation, forced the Civil Rights Act against the South. Most people don't know their freaking history. It was allowed to happen. Same thing is now taking place today. The rest of the world is saying, okay, if there is now competition against America, and it's this thing called BRICS being run by Russia, China, and the others, and we see America doesn't want to play ball with us anymore. They're not being nice anymore. They want to put the trade tariffs and all this other. They're being isolationist, elitist, and they don't even value us as equals. Why the hell am I going to go on the American side? Hey, BRICS, what's up? What you guys got going on over there? Is this making sense? Type me in the chat box. I am not speaking from Republican or Democratic view. I am speaking on what is taking place right now and how the world is responding to it. So you can agree with the current administration or you can disagree with the current administration. That's irrelevant. This is what's happening. You need to understand what are the consequences of these results. Just like I did the same thing with Biden. He set America back. He could have done a whole lot of things to make sure America was already positioned well ahead of BRICS. And now Trump is playing catch up. I have a whole lot more to say. I'm in Chicago. From a individual point of view on what we need to do as individuals under the current circumstances. This is facilitated by the favorable value-driven foundation of the BRICS multilateral format, which has developed over many years, and the global context that is creating new challenges at this point in time. Okay, last one up, then I got to go because I'm already longer than I was supposed to be. Dang, I was supposed to end 30 minutes ago, but I got caught up. This is what happens with crypto talk. China increased U.S. Treasury investments as trade war escalated. Do you guys know how much China is invested in America? Do you know how much land they own? How many businesses they own? I know there's a movement I saw from Stephen Miller to attempt to do an executive order to just like eminent domain and take away all of the land and property that China owns, not buy them out, just take it. That's not going to get very far unless something drastic happens and the courts back up Trump on this. But they in locker room talk, China has America by the balls, basically. Most average American doesn't even know it. Chinese purchases of U.S. treasuries rose in February when the Trump administration acted a 10% tariff on any imports coming from the Asian country. And no, I am not pro-China. I am always America first. That also means we need to know the reality of what's going on and what we're dealing with, and have the ability to question your own leaders and what's going on, not blindly follow whatever's being said like a freaking parrot. According to the Treasury International Capital Reporting System, China increased its U.S. debt holdings to $784.3 billion, up from $760.8 billion. Japan, that's the scary one right there. Another country heavily affected by these tariff measures also increased its U.S. Treasury holdings. So you have to ask yourself, why are they doing that? They're reacting to us. So what is the ultimate goal of these moves? Lou Bryan, market strategist at DRW, explained that this could be an act of self-preservation. In particular, Japan and China have a lot to lose if they were to decide to sell treasuries and make it known that they're selling treasuries, he stressed. I'm going to watch that part for and pay attention to this more too. There is a game of chess that's being played, but I think the Chinese are playing what's the game called? Mahjong, and America is playing Chutes and Ladders. Unfortunately, that's how it's looking like. All right, that is it for Crypto Talk, and you guys just got a good example on what we do on a daily basis. Except I share a lot more when it comes to, certain moves that we can make. That's only for the inner circle. Also, I want to share that this is a safe zone. We have a very diverse community. We have people that have multiple different religions and political beliefs, and people are very sensitive to both. So we will not espouse only one way over another. My goal is to attempt to understand and highlight all that's happening, and then how that can impact us financially and what moves we need to make, not whether I agree with that it should be done a certain way or not. Whatever I personally believe is irrelevant. I try my best to keep my own personal beliefs out, but I am human, so sometimes they may seep through. But we want to make everybody to know that you are welcome here, no matter what your beliefs are. What matters most is what Jim Rohn says. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you react to the things that happen to you. Where the ultimate goal is to build a financial wall around your family so high that nothing can penetrate it, regardless of who the president is and their goals. None of that matters at the end of the day. Your bank account is what matters. Your ability to take care of your family is what matters. Your ability to take advantage of any situation from the Democrat side or the Republican side is what matters most. That's what we do. All right. Thank you guys for being a part of this. I am gone. Don't try to contact me for the next couple of days. This is WrestleMania time. I will be back Monday morning for Inner Circle Crypto Talk. So again, if you want to be a part of our Inner Circle, get back to the person who invited you. They'll get you the link to get yourself signed up. And we welcome you to be a part of our community, and let's have a lot of fun, especially as we are now in the second quarter of this year. Take care. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Easter, Resurrection Day. Brandon Ivey out. Bye-bye.